Back in the house with a 9-4.
You did good, sir.
I feel like Princess Peach, rose gold on my Mercedes. Rose gold on my bitch, looking like her name Mercedes. I need a hoe who down on them eyes, what up ladies? Switched out the friendly smile, but the face that reads, fuck you pay me. Ain't got rabies, I just overdose off coke, and if I know, they hope I die. My back.
Did you see who they announced to be the Super Bowl halftime show?
I didn't. Who was it?
GOAT, man. GOAT, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has actually been a favorite rapper of mine since I was about maybe like 12 or 13.
Oh, shit.
And it's crazy how that whole rap beef just turned full circle. Started with the whole first-person shooter. Started with Drake saying, "Oh, big as a what? Big as a Super Bowl." And now Kendrick's the one headlining. That's crazy.
That is
What do you think
crazy.
of the whole beef?
Man, honestly, I think that Kendrick eliminated Drake out of the waters. You know, Drake's still gonna get his support because he has a bunch of little crybaby fans. But I think that Kendrick is still on top, like you said, and you know that Super Bowl. You know, him performing the Super Bowl, that definitely solidifies it.
And then, of course, on top of that, it's crazy because, like, at first it was supposed to be the whole big three, the whole J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake thing. But then J. Cole, who always would talk about how if he was in a rap beef, he would annihilate them and all this stuff, got the opportunity and then took it back and apologized. Kind of, like, hypocritical. Kind of reminds me of this one person where he said he forgave me, even though I never gave an apology. Had me confused and had me thinking that, in a sense that he's kind of like J. Cole, too, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, welcome back to another episode of XiX Pickup. My name is XiX from XiX Sports Network,
My name's Ethan from Mistaken for Bacon.
and we are now here with another episode. Of course, as you can see, a nice little night. The sun is now setting, and a nice chill night. But before we can continue, though, I do have to bring up that as we're doing this episode, the 49ers and Jets game is going on. But it really shouldn't affect our scores because we picked the Niners to win to begin with. So regardless, once we'll bring up the scores later, it'll stay the same no matter what. But this episode's a little bit different. We actually have another wrestler joining us today. Well, not another wrestler. We're not wrestlers. Another person joining us today. You guys may know him as the Metal Messiah. I know him as nicknames that I probably can't say on here because we'll get canceled. The one, the and only, Thrash. Thrash, what the fuck are you wearing?
Talk about football. This is football.
Not-
This is football.
Not that football.
This is
American football.
Um,
Alright, let's sit down. Just sit down. Welcome to the show.
This is
Welcome to the
football.
show.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, gentlemen. Talk some
gangster.
football.
Alright, so originally, I couldn't unfortunately wear my football gear because of reasons, but I am wearing Aerospace. Of course, Ethan has the tall girly
That
jersey.
tall
I like
girly
that tall girly
jersey.
jersey. That actually goes hard.
And I got something else, guys. Talking about football.
Hey, no. Hey, no. Get that out of
My
here. No,
Liverpool
get that trash out of here. No.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. You know what I mean? We're talking about football today. I just, the rivalry goes deep.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'll put it aside for this episode.
All right. Sounds good. Week 2, guys.
So this was supposed to be American football, and what's the big deal if he has that jersey? What?
They're rivals, man.
Because we fucking hate Liverpool.
They're in the. They've been in a lot of battles between Liverpool and Real Madrid. In the Champions League, which is kind of like the Super Bowl of European football. There's a pretty good rivalry between the two teams. They've had a bunch of great games. You know what I mean? So.
Makes sense. But nonetheless, let's get back on to the swing of things. Thrash, are you into college football?
I am.
Who's your team?
Go Tigers. The LSU Tigers.
Alright, so this past week, who did LSU actually take on?
This past week, we played Nichols. Is that how you
Yeah,
pronounce
that's
it?
how you pronounce it, but that's not really much.
Whatever.
It's an early season. College football aren't actually going on the heavy hitters, but two teams that actually took on each other that I like to say were, at least one of them was considered a heavy hitter. Texas versus Michigan. Ethan, do you want to talk about it? Whoops, drop my pen.
So Michigan got absolutely obliterated. I will say that it just wasn't really a matchup at all. I showed that Texas really is a big dog. They're definitely going to contend within the top 4 teams. As for Michigan, my beloved Wolverines, I hate to say it, but I do think that they maybe will not make the playoff, or at least in the top, in like the bottom 12, 12, 11 seed, 10 seed, you know what I mean? It just wasn't a great showing for them. I definitely think that a lot of the things that happened in the offseason affected them, but as for Texas, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. They kicked our ass. and for them, they look like definitely a national championship contender for sure.
And I don't know, should we bring up what happened on Saturday, bro? Like,
So,
so
can you explain your actions?
So I was just upset. We were all watching the game together, and Michigan lost. They were up, they were down like 17-3, maybe 24-3, and I left. I was a bit upset. Just not the way I wanted to start my day. You know what I mean? I wanted them to at least put up a fight, but that was not any fight of any comprehension there.
And can I just say, that is very typical of Liverpool fans.
And then, of course, our beloved hometown UTEP Miners took on the FCS school Southern Utah. You and I, Thrash, actually attended that game, and
Yes, we did.
don't get me wrong, it was a heartbreaking loss, but I had a hell of fun. How'd you feel?
I had fun. It was a breath of fresh air seeing that UTEP offense and defense, but special teams got to get on the ball, man. Those are mistakes you can't commit in games like that, especially against an FCS school.
Yeah, of course, there was, I believe, 14 penalties that the UTEP had committed, as well as there's times where the defense just seemed like they looked tired, and the first half was clean UTEP football. Like you said,
Absolutely.
I've never seen UTEP offense actually go down the field that quick in my years of watching UTEP, but the third quarter, they just completely just sat down. They looked like they just got comfortable and just let them catch up to the lead and eventually take the lead. Then we had to play catch up, but that Philly special to tie it up was beautiful.
That was a ballsy call by Scotty Walden for sure. 4th and 4. Props to him, but like I said, that special teams got to get on the ball, man.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, Buzz Fabiano missed the kick, and unfortunately, that's our second loss of the season already. UTEP starting out 0-2, not the greatest start, but nonetheless. Speaking of starts, the NFL started last week. You guys saw the episode of Ethan and I picking. We picked our own teams individually. This time we have Thrash, but we'll get to that later. We got to talk about the Week 1 results. Starting off with my Cowboys defeating the Browns. Like we said, the 49ers are playing the Jets. As of this recording, the 49ers lead the Jets 16-7. I don't really think it'll be much there. I think the Niners should be able to take it. What do you think, Thrash?
I think they can perform well without Christian McCaffrey. But listen, I need George Kittle to give me some fantasy points. I cannot lose to him, bro. I cannot lose to Ethan this week.
And then, of course, we also had the Thursday Night Football game. Chiefs beating the Ravens. Eagles beating the Packers. Steelers taking down the Falcons. Bills taking down the Cardinals. Caleb Williams and the Bears, I believe, was a comeback win, taking over the Titans. But I've seen that apparently Caleb Williams had nothing to do with it. But I guess we'll probably discuss that later. Patriots with a shocker defeating the Bengals. Texans beating the Colts in a close one. Dolphins, I believe, are also another one, came back from a lead, beating the Jaguars. Saints completely demolishing the Panthers 47-10. Vikings beating the Giants, which that looks like an ugly game from the Giants. Chargers beating the Raiders. Sucks for you, Big Lou. Seahawks beat the Broncos. Buccaneers beat the Commanders. And finally, the Lions beat the Rams.
Sadly, that
It happens.
it happens sometimes. You know what I mean? From that game, I think that we looked great on all cylinders. We got hurt very early on. We were hurt before the game, so I'm proud of the fight that the guys provided. The whole night. We were down 17-3 at one point. It didn't look great. It looked embarrassing, and we were able to battle back, take the lead at one point. I lost the game, on some stupid overtime rules. I didn't even know that they changed it only for playoffs.
So actually, I was asleep because again I work graveyards. And I missed what happened. So like, what do you mean by that? What exactly happened?
So essentially, the Lions just got the ball first and just ran it down our throats. Our defense was gassed. Obviously, they played 4 quarters of physical football. They're young, and David Montgomery went for the touchdown. You know what I mean? I genuinely did not know that the NFL changed the overtime rules only for the playoffs. So in the regular season, the same rules don't apply. So only one team gets the ball, and if they score, then it's over. So I feel like that was a cheap win. I'm not gonna cheapen the Lions. They're obviously a Super Bowl contender for sure. Definitely look like a top 2 team in the NFC after last night. But I think that once we get healthy and we healed up, we're coming for sure. But props to the Lions. They dominated for sure.
And with that being said, the scores for the Week 1 results is actually me in the lead with 11-4. Ethan, you are 1 game below at 10-5. So initially, yes, the Niners and the Jets game are still going, but again, we both picked the Niners, so regardless whoever wins, Niners or Jets, it'll still kind of be the same thing. Niners win, I'll be 12-4, he'll be 11-5. Jets win, I'll be, let me do my math, 11-5, and he'll be 10-6. But starting off with me in the lead so far. They say the games that I got wrong though were Ravens versus Chiefs, Titans versus Bears, Bengals versus Patriots, and Vikings versus Giants. Ethan, the games you got wrong was Bengals versus Patriots, Giants versus Vikings, Broncos versus Seahawks, Browns versus Cowboys, and then Rams versus Lions, which I understand, of course, it was their favorite team. But the ones that we both got wrong were the Bengals versus Patriots games and the Giants versus Viking games. But I think we could easily explain that one as in one, Giants are just dog shit. Like, there's not much to say. Like,
It's true. It's true. Definitely after that game, definitely saw it for
and
sure.
then a lot of us doubted the Vikings because crappy quarterbacks. They have offensive weapons: Justin Jefferson, obviously, Jordan Addison, our boy Aaron Jones. But without a quarterback, it's useless. But they took down the Giants. Is it because they had Sam Darnold's the guy, or is it just, again, the Giants just dog shit?
For me, I think in that game that the Giants are just terrible. You know what I mean? Daniel Jones probably like the worst quarterback in the league. You know, I don't hate the Giants or anything. You know, I understand that you're a rival.
Nah,
so-
I don't take the Giants serious. Like, the only ones I actually do worry about are the Eagles.
Philadelphia did look good in their game as well. But for me, just the Giants, just they looked terrible in that game. Nothing was really firing for them. And the Vikings were just taking advantage at every spot that they could. Yeah, the Vikings honestly look pretty decent, for not having their quarterback. There's been years before, 2018, 2017, the Vikings made the playoffs and went to the NFC Championship with Case Keenum, their backup quarterback under center.
The year that the Minnesota Miracle happened.
Exactly. So it could be another situation like that. I do think they look good, but it is just the Giants. They looked terrible. Giants, Malik Neighbors is probably the only bright spot that Giants fans can look at. But other than that, it was just, I don't know if there's anything that they can, look positively towards.
And then the next game, which is funny because it was a Patriots-Bengals game, and I said that usually we would expect the whole weird first 4 weeks of the game where Joe Burrow plays like complete ass, and then all of a sudden it just turns good again. But I said, it's the Patriots. I doubt that's going to happen. The Patriots made us eat our words because the Patriots actually beat the Bengals. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but that's not the prettiest way. I heard that Ramondre Stevenson had a hell of a game because I have him on fantasy. But that was another one that shocked us. The one that you got wrong was the Seahawks and Broncos and Cowboys, Browns, Lions, and Rams.
So for me, I think in the Seahawks and Broncos game, I think that just the Broncos weren't prepared at all. Bo Nix looked terrible. Can't lie to you guys. The Seahawks just took advantage of that. They're a more experienced group, I think. Sean Payton didn't have those guys in Denver ready to play. So, Geno Smith is an experienced quarterback. I don't think that team will do, maybe neither of these teams will do as much damage as, they would hope. But, for that one, I think Seahawks, with their new head coach, Mike McDonald, that's a great way to get that era off on a win. So, props to the Seahawks for that one for sure.
And the Cowboys, Browns, what the fuck, bro? Why are you doubting us?
I didn't doubt the Cowboys. I just said that this game was going to be a little bit more competitive, but definitely Dallas really blew the Cleveland defense and just all aspects of Cleveland out of the water. The Cleveland offense, especially the offense, looked terrible for Cleveland. Deshaun Watson couldn't get anything going there. The defensive line just eating them up. Micah Parsons definitely looks to me as the best defensive player in the NFL. Which, it's up for debate now that my beloved Aaron Donald has been retired. To me, I saw that game, and I'm like, yeah, that guy is definitely the next Aaron Donald. It's something I said to myself in my head. So, that game was, insane for Dallas. They were firing on all cylinders, and, if they can sustain this, they definitely will do some damage for sure. As they do every year. Yeah, just Cleveland just didn't, they weren't prepared for that game, and they'll have to get back into the lab and see what they can do, to perform better next week. I'm not sure who they're playing, but they might have to think about starting Jameis Winston. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with there.
And, of course, the last one you got wrong was the Lions, Rams. I can just assume that your favorite team, just biased, just picked the Rams.
No, yeah. That game, I did think we were going to win. Like I said earlier, it was a hard-fought game. We played with, a very outmanned team against, like, a top 3 physical team in the league. I was pleased with our performance, honestly. We battled back. Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, it looked like that Super Bowl a couple years ago, just force-feeding him. I like that. We do have a couple of injuries to worry about within the next couple of weeks, but we should get most of those guys back, the most notable one being Puka Nacua. But I think we'll be fine, It's just a couple weeks, Got a bye week at week 6, so we'll see what we look towards. But, yes, the Lions definitely look like the Super Bowl contender in the NFC, so we'll see how that plays.
Sorry about that. I had a mosquito on me. And for the games that I got wrong, apart from what Ethan got wrong, was the Ravens versus Chiefs. This one's not really, much like anything crazy we saw. It was a close game. We saw it was one toe away from the Ravens taking it. But the reason why I picked the Ravens was simply because I just didn't want to pick the same thing as Ethan and ended up having the same score. Ended up biting me in the butt here, though. But anyway, I'm still in the lead, though, in the end. And then the other game I had gone wrong was the Titans versus Bears, which initially I am going to say is that Titans was leading, but I believe it was the Titans offense that choked it at the same time. Because, again, they're saying that Caleb Williams just didn't do jack shit in that game. They still came out with a win, though.
Nice, yeah.
But with that being said, you guys ready for the Week 2 picks, Thrash? That's why we got you here.
I'm prepared.
All right. Now, starting off with the Thursday night football game, we have the Buffalo Bills 1-0 taking on the 1-0 Miami Dolphins. Let's hope Tyreek Hill doesn't get detained this time. But we'll start with you, Thrash. What do you think is going to be taken out?
The Miami Dolphins.
All right, don't look at my fucking...
I'm not looking.
Miami Dolphins.
I'm not
why
looking.
Miami Dolphins?
Listen, bro. Say all you want about the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill got arrested and proceeded to ball out. That is why I'm going with the Miami Dolphins, because Tyreek Hill is a fucking baller.
For you, Ethan?
For me, I was thinking about this before we were recording. I think I'm going to have to go with the Buffalo Bills. They barely squeaked out that win against the Arizona Cardinals, but I do think Josh Allen is still a great quarterback. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the Dolphins win, but I think that the Bills are a little more experienced, and they're going to want to make a statement early on, so I think this game is the time to do it. So give me the Bills in Hard Rock Stadium.
That's a shocker. Nah, and honestly, for me though, I feel like the Bills. A lot of people are counting them out. Yes, because of the loss of Stephon Diggs. They did defeat the Cardinals, and you say it barely squeaked by. Cardinals are not that great of a team, but something about bloodbaths between AFC East division rivals. I just feel like the Dolphins have to take this, and simply if they don't, that's kind of concerning. They did only squeak out a win against the Jaguars, but it's again a different Bills defense. I got the Dolphins taking this one. And then starting off with our Sunday slate, I feel like this one should be easy. The Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Baltimore Ravens in what's it called? MIT Bank.
Yeah, MIT Bank Stadium.
Yep.
What you got, Thrash?
The Ravens.
Ravens?
Ravens.
Yeah, no, it should be simple.
For me, I got the Ravens as well. It's simple. Lamar looks great. That was a fight against Kansas City last week, but they just came a little bit short against the Super Bowl champions. But this week they're playing, the lowly Las Vegas Raiders. Gardner Minshew didn't look great. Nothing looked great for the Raiders in that loss against the Los Angeles Chargers. It's easy, Baltimore Ravens for sure.
It's funny. So again, my brother's a Raiders fan. I'm probably gonna be mentioning him every week. Every year, every time the football starts and our teams are playing, the Cowboys are doing bad, he always has to text me, call me, start talking crap. Usually if the Raiders are doing bad, I say nothing because I don't want it to be thrown in my face. But I was laughing because from during the Cowboys-Browns game, I didn't hear a word from our brother. So I texted him and I was like, "You're real quiet today, buddy." And he was like, "I'm cooking." And I was like, "Yeah, good, because your team wasn't." And we saw that as they lost to the Chargers. But I'm going to have to take the Ravens on this one. No, nothing against the Raiders. I feel like, yes, the Raiders are...
Fuck the Raiders.
The Raiders are more of a weak team in the league, and the Ravens are higher powered. Ravens are going to easily take that one. Up next, we got, speaking of the Chargers taking on the Panthers in Carolina. You, Thrash?
I'm going to go with the Panthers on this one.
You're going to have the Panthers on this
I'm
one.
going to the Panthers on this one.
Why?
Because it's the Panthers, bro.
This fucking... And then you think...
So for me, I'm going to have to... I think for me, this is an easy one right here. I'm going to have to go with the Los Angeles Chargers here. They looked great in their Week 1 win against the Raiders. I think Joe Alt, the left tackle, the first-round pick from Notre Dame, he looked insane. Just dominated Max Crosby. He was a grown man, 27, 28 years old. He's all tatted up. He's pretty scary looking, right?
Yeah, he is.
And Joe Alt, he's a little Midwestern boy.
I'm convinced my brother has a man crush on Max Crosby, by the way. But go ahead.
I think Chargers take this game easily. Panthers, they don't look ready to play at all in their Week 1 loss to the New Orleans Saints. So, for me, give me the Chargers for sure.
And yeah, this one's simple. Like he said, Panthers got mollywopped against the Saints. 47-10, 37-point game in your first game of the season. Not a good look. Chargers take this one easy. Up next, we got... This one I'm actually kind of low-key excited for. Everybody was kind of shocked when he saw his performance against the Commanders. Baker Mayfield's Bucks taking on the Detroit Lions. Okay, go ahead, Thrash.
Ryan Gosling and the Lions take this one.
All right. Any reason why? Just...
Because he looks like Ryan Gosling, bro.
Okay, go for it.
For me, I also got to take the Lions as well. They beat us up. It was a physical game there in Detroit in Sunday Night Football. So this is a rematch. That's kind of crazy. I just realized that. You know, the Lions in Week 1 matched up against their wild card opponent from last year. Now in Week 2, they're going to match up against their divisional opponent in Week 2. So that's that's pretty cool, I think. But I think Lions definitely have this in the bag. You know, Baker Mayfield and the Bucs look great. I think they're going to continue on the momentum they went from last year. But I think the Lions are too physical right now. Like I said, I think they're the top team in the NFC. So give me the Lions on that one.
You think the Lions are the top team in the NFC?
I would say so.
It's a bold claim. I really didn't watch that Rams game, so I think I have to see more film. But I do acknowledge that the Lions are probably like top 3 in the league. And in this game, I do have them taking the win over the Bucs. Again, Baker Mayfield looked good with my boy Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and more or less, yeah. But Lions are gonna take the win. Up next, we got NFC North Division rivals Colts taking on the Packers in Lambeau Field. Go ahead, Thrash. Oh, I want to address this. I don't know what's up with this fool and his infatuation with Jordan Love. How do you feel about Jordan Love going down?
Oh my fucking god!
When
bro.
he's your starting quarterback for your fantasy team.
Well, there goes my fucking offense. My QB is out. My running back is out. My tight end's not putting any fucking points on the board for me. There goes my fucking offense. But Packers Colts at Lambeau. Fuck man. Well, they lost Jordan Love. I'll go. Oof. Okay, I'll stay with the Packers for this one.
All right, and you, Ethan?
For me, I don't know if you call it an upset, but I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Indianapolis Colts there with Anthony Richardson. He looked great in that Week 1 loss against Houston. It was a battle there. I do, obviously, the loss of Jordan Love is going to extremely hurt the Packers. Is Malik Willis ready to play? Is the question right there. I don't think he is for this week at least. He's going to have to take some time to learn the playbook a little bit more. I mean, he has been. He's a backup, right? But I just don't think he was ready to, be inserted so quickly. So for that one, I think the Colts are going to, revenge their loss in Week 1. They're a loaded team, I think. They're very underrated, the Colts. So give me the Colts in that one, in Lambeau.
And I do want to quote something that you said last week. You said Anthony Richardson was going to be a good quarterback, and it looks like you were right. He did have a hell of a showing against C.J. Stroud and the Texans, a hell of a game. I believe it was a 29-27 score.
Mm-hmm.
Texans ended up taking the win, but the Colts looked good, and I got the Colts taking over with this one. Like you said, low-key, I didn't even know Malik Willis was the backup for the fucking Packers, so that's kind of insane. Malik Willis never looked good in Tennessee. I'm not going to base that off that. It's a new team. Maybe it's something different, but the Colts did look great last week. I have the Colts taking the win on that one. Up next, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in the home of, what's his name, Shad Khan?
Shad Khan.
Go ahead, Thrash.
My god. Fucking Browns look like shit.
They did.
I guess it's fucking Dallas Cowboys, but my god damn. I don't know. You pick first. Let me think about it for a little bit, and you pick this time.
So, like Thrash mentioned, by the way, so if you guys haven't noticed, my voice is kind of shot from that UTEP game. It was pretty fucking intense.
Yeah, for sure.
So, bear with me. But, Browns and Jaguars. So, Jaguars, at least the defense was able to hold down the usually high-powered offense that we're used to from the Dolphins. I mean, the same team that put up 70 points last year. I think they only held them to, 17, 20, more or less?
Yeah.
And, of course, like you mentioned earlier, the Browns were hyped up to be one of the greatest defenses of this year. The Cowboys completely put that to rest and just completely destroyed them, which I'll talk about that later once we get to the Cowboys pick. But this one shouldn't be that easy. I got the Jaguars taking the win on this one. I'll go next. What do you think?
Yeah. Stick with the Jaguars.
You there? Yeah, Ethan?
So for me, it's not any different. I think the Jaguars, somebody's got to win. Both teams lost in Week 1, took a big loss. It's in Jacksonville. I think the Jaguars are just a little bit more resilient, I would say. Brown's still missing some people on the IR list. So I think for me, it's going to be maybe a close game, but I think Jacksonville's going to want their payback. So give me the Jags.
All right, then up next we have the San Fran 49ers, who are actually currently playing, going against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. You want to go crack at this one, Tash? Hey.
San Fran.
San Fran? Any specific reason why? I want to look up the score while you guys explain real quick.
I don't know. I just hate the Minnesota Vikings for some reason.
That's fair. I think I understand the reason, but that's fair.
Yeah. So, I have San Fran taking it.
You, Ethan?
So for me, I like the Minnesota Vikings. They're cool. I think this year maybe with Sam Darnold in there, they might be able to make the playoffs. They looked good in Week 1. But it is the 49ers, a very threatening defense, who I have on fantasy, by the way.
That's actually ironic, but yeah.
So I do think that San Francisco will take this game. Maybe not easily. I think maybe they'll slip away. It should be the debut of Christian McCaffrey, so we will see how that pans out. But yeah, go ahead and give me the 49ers for sure.
And as of recording this video, the Niners actually lead the Jets 23-7. So the Jets aren't even looking good to begin with. But I don't know. Yeah, this one should be easy. Like you said, the 49ers defense are a tough defense, top 3 in the league. Sam Darnold, I don't know. He did get the win. It looks pretty dominant. 28-6 score is a pretty dominant score, but it was against the Giants. But then again, I'm just a hater. But I have the Niners winning easily. Up next, we have Seahawks at Patriots.
Oh, the Seahawks. Patriots are fucking terrible.
All right, they beat the Bengals last week though.
I don't care. They're still fucking terrible.
All right, you can go for it.
So for me, I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and sip a little bit of the Kool-Aid. Maybe they're brewing in New England. I think the Patriots are gonna win this game.
Patriots.
You know what I mean? Seahawks looked good last week, but I think that the Patriots will be a little bit more prepared. You know, I think I'm gonna eat my words next week, but I'm gonna go a little bit bold. You know, no, you don't like to be boring all the time, so give me the Patriots in this game to upset the Seahawks.
And this one, I'm actually gonna have to disagree with you. I have the Seahawks taking this one. Yes, they did beat the Joe Burrow's Bengals, but the Bengals are going through a little bit of drama with the whole Jamar Chase thing. Jamar Chase is not wanting to play until he gets a contract signed, I believe. A whole lot of bullshit going on, and the whole kind of funny thing about Joe Burrow not playing well for the first 4 weeks to begin with. So I feel like this game's going to be one of the more boring games, but Seahawks going to come out on top. Up next, we have the currently playing Jets taking on the Tennessee Titans. You Thrash?
What do you think? What do you think, Ethan?
I think, honestly, that the Jets will take this one. Aaron Rodgers and them don't look great right now, but it is the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers always has struggles against the 49ers. Titans choked that one against the Bears last week. You know, Will Levis is that quarterback. Not really the biggest fan of Will Levis, honestly, guys. So I don't think he's going to do much with them this year. So I like the Jets in that one very
You don't think
easily.
he has a cannon on him?
I don't think so.
No?
You Thrash?
You don't think he has a cannon on
You
him?
Thrash, what's your pick?
No, you're not going to answer my
Shut
question?
the fuck up. What's your pick?
I'll take the Jets. Hey, we're in the Jets. Just hope he doesn't tear his fucking ACL running onto the field again.
For me, like you said, I feel like, you know what? I feel like this is going to be the game where Aaron Rodgers is going to have a good game, have a good, decent little game. Nothing too crazy. He's not going to light up the scoreboard or nothing. Good little, probably like 28-17 type game. A good, easy, dominant win over the Titans. Jets take this one. Up next, the NFC least division rivals. We got the Giants taking on the Commanders.
Go Commanders. Commanders.
You?
I gotta take the Commanders. You know, Jaden Daniels looked excellent in that loss against the Buccaneers. You know, other aspects of the team didn't look as great. Dan Quinn, head coaching the Commanders now. Like we said earlier, the Giants, you know, they didn't look like there's anything to look forward to. Maybe the first round pick next year. So I think the Commanders are definitely gonna take that one.
Yeah, Giants are looking just more rough and rough every year. And it sucks because, you know what, I'll give props to the coach, Brian Daboll. I'm not going to give, like, that much hectic to Brian Daboll. I feel like he did have that one good year under his belt, but ever since then, just seems like Daniel Jones is not the answer. I'm sorry, Daniel Jones is not the answer.
No, he isn't.
But, again, Jaden Daniels did look good. Giants just looked embarrassed against the Vikings. I got the Commanders taking this one. And then from the two NFC East teams, we got the other NFC team, the New Orleans Saints, going on against taking on the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas had a great showing against the Browns, but it's the fucking Browns. But
The Browns had projected one of the best defenses, though, before the season
I don't
started.
give a fuck. The Dallas offense put them to shame, so I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys here.
I bet. You think?
Me, I'm gonna pick an upset just to be bold. I'm gonna go ahead and take the New Orleans Saints just because they looked good in Week 1. I do think that, you know, it's gonna be a fair game. I think, you know, either way, I think that you know, New Orleans maybe that Dallas will be a little bit overconfident. You know, who knows? They did have the game last year against the Arizona Cardinals where, you know, they were kind of on a tear and they lost. They dropped that one, so it could be similar. But, you know, I'm not completely sure. But just for now, just give me the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, I fucking hate that Cardinals game because you and Chucky were with me at that day at the bar that we went to go watch you.
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
And Chucky doesn't watch football, so all he was doing was trying to piss me off, saying like, "Damn, bro, like they're getting clapped," like just saying stupid shit like that. But anyways, yes, if you guys saw earlier, the Saints took on the Panthers. beat the shit out of the Panthers 47-10. Cowboys, though, also kind of did the same thing, taking on the Browns. Everybody predicted the Browns would be one of the best defenses. Cowboys, surprisingly, put that to rest and took them down. Not only just on offense, they played a good defensive game as well. Trevon Diggs getting his first interception back from the torn ACL. I actually want to give props to this other corner. He wears 21, but he's not Zeke or he's not Stephon Gilmore. And I actually forgot his first name. It starts with a K, but his last name is Carson. And I was actually seeing him everywhere on the field. I think he had like 2-3 pass deflections and a couple of key making tackles. I also saw DeMarion Overshone, another Texas Longhorn. He missed his rookie year because he had a torn ACL, but he made his in-season debut against the Browns, and I saw that he made a key play. I think he tackled Bill Cosby in the fucking fourth down to officially put the game away and more than that. But I'm looking at this at more of the strength of opponent. Again, it is the Panthers. Panthers were just dog shit to begin with. Poor Bryce Young. And the Cowboys, again, were supposed to take on the best defense in the team. I'm not saying that all the Cowboys are that good and that just took them out, but at the end, the Cowboys did play a clean game. And me watching the Cowboys, it always seems like they could never just be fucking dominant. They were actually dominant. I'm going to have to be biased on this one. I'm going to have to take the Cowboys on this one. And then for my favorite team, I have to go to Ethan's favorite team. We got the Rams taking on the Cardinals in Arizona.
Yeah, go with the Rams. Stick with the Rams for this one. I'm with you on this one, Ethan.
So me, obviously, I'm gonna pick the Rams there. You know, we always beat the Cardinals. It's kind of like the Cowboys to the Giants, if I could relate it in a way. You know what I mean? But I do think that Arizona looks a little bit more improved. They did give the Bills a little bit of a fit there in Buffalo, in Orchard Park. But I think we're gonna play a little bit pissed off. You know, that from that Week 1 game. I think that we still have, you know, all the ammo to beat the Cardinals. You know what I mean? So we're gonna wanna, you know, come back for sure, and you know, we can't make a statement against the Cardinals, I don't think, but Week 3 we play our fierce rivals, our blood rivals up in the north, the San Francisco 49ers, so I think we're going to want to use Week 2 as a launching pad to get over back to LA and play the Niners, so I'm going to have to take the Rams, I'll maybe by 2 scores, you know what I mean, hopefully.
On this one, like you said, Cardinals actually did look pretty tough against the Bills, but I know, like, you're probably going to see Ethan and I feud over our favorite teams, but I actually don't mind the Rams. I feel like the Rams are actually pretty cool. I don't see it with the Cardinals. I don't feel like the Cardinals have the key pieces yet. I honestly don't think Kyler Murray is that good to begin with, so I got the Rams taking this one. Up next, we got Steelers at Broncos. Thrash.
Pittsburgh.
Any reason why?
Actually, no. Who are they playing again?
Steelers and Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos. You know why?
Why?
I fucking hate Chuko Vum. Chuko Vum is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I fucking hate them both. So let's go Broncos. I'm sticking with the Broncos for this one.
Alright, that's some D1 level hating shit. You
I
Ethan?
fucking hate them.
For me, I gotta take the boys from the Steel City, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't look the best in that Week 1 win. I will say, you know, I'm not trying to hate or anything, but I think that they will improve in Week 2. Mike Tomlin always has those guys ready to play. You know, he's definitely a top 2 coach in the NFL. So I do think that this game is going to be great for the Steelers. Russell Wilson may play. We'll see what happens there. But I think regardless of who starts for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that they're going to have a great game against Denver. Denver, again, didn't look the most promising in Week 1. So I think that Steelers have a way better defense than Seattle. So that's going to be a factor for the Broncos. I'm going to go ahead and pick Pittsburgh in that game.
And before I continue with my pick, I did want to ask you, Ethan, what'd you think of Bo Nix's performance?
So, Bo Nix, honestly, he was very lackluster, you know what I mean? He looked great in preseason, but just that game against Seattle, who, you know, maybe they have a top 15 defense, I would say. Still, I think it's a little bit inexcusable. You know, Jaden Daniels had a great performance. I think Caleb Williams played, even though he didn't play that great, he played better than Bo Nix. I wasn't high on Bo Nix before the year. Still not high on him. I think I'm going to have to see, you know, some things from him if I want to put him in the top echelon of quarterbacks, you know what I mean? So it wasn't great by any means.
Yeah, things did look concerning. Sorry about that. Things did look concerning for our Bo Nix. Steelers, you say Russell Wilson is going to be starting after all?
I think so. I believe so.
I think this one's probably going to be more of the more boring of the games, but Steelers taking the win on this one. It is going to be cool, though, to see Russell Wilson going against his former team, though. I guess that's the only thing about it. And then last, before our Sunday Night Football game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Go for it, Thrash.
much I fucking hate the Kansas City Chiefs and what's his fucking name?
No.
Yeah, that guy. Whatever. I have to go with the Chiefs. I fucking hate Taylor Swift though. I won't put out there. I fucking hate Taylor Swift.
You, Ethan?
So I love the Chiefs. I'm just gonna have to go with the Chiefs here. You know what I mean? I think that ever since, I believe it was 2 years ago, a year ago, 2022 season, I remember it was, where the Chiefs had beaten the Bengals. Bengals used to think that they owned the Chiefs. That's not the case anymore. I think the Bengals are looking a little bit rough. Like you said earlier, they got to fix that contract situation with Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow looked rough against the New England Patriots of all teams. I think that it won't be a walk in the park. I think the Bengals are going to be a little bit more ready, a little bit more woken up. But, I think that, in Arrowhead, that the Bengals, they're going to play all over, the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going to have to take the Chiefs there.
Yeah, on this one, my iPad's glitching. Yeah, I think this one's a no-brainer. I guess the joke of Joe Burrow just playing like dog shit for the first 4 weeks of the season is gonna happen. It's sad though because we've seen good games between these two squads, always in the playoffs. But I feel like the Chiefs are gonna take this one easily, probably by 2 scores. Up next, for I got Sunday Night Football. Caleb Williams' Bears taking on CJ Stroud's Texans. Do Thrash.
CJ Stroud and the Texans. Because Stephon Diggs is a fucking dog.
You
So,
Ethan?
I'm going to have to go with the Texans as well. You know what I mean? From those two teams' performance in week 1, I think everybody can agree. Obviously, the Texans were the more impressive team, definitely on offense and defense. I think the Bears and Caleb Williams have some things to work out. Like we said, he didn't look that great, but they got the win. That's all that matters. But I think that C.J. Stroud is well established. He's ready to come and make his case for the MVP. So I'm going to take the Texans easily there.
Yeah, this one, Caleb Williams, yes, I guess you could say he carried his team for the win. He didn't look great, though. Texans, on the other hand, C.J. Stroud, I said it last episode, I'm going to say it again. C.J. Stroud is one of the quarterbacks I'm excited to see. I feel like Texans are going to have a good dominant win here in primetime. Last but not least, the Monday Night Football game. We got Bird versus Bird. Atlanta Falcons going up to Philly to take on the Eagles. Go ahead, Thrash.
Falcons, Eagles. Go with the Eagles.
Eagles. And reason why?
I'm drinking my water, asshole. Can you wait?
Go for Ethan.
I'm going to have to take the Bears from Philly, again, like I did last week. You know what I mean? I like the Eagles. They're always one of the teams that just never quits. They're always in that mix, you know what I mean? As a Dallas fan. So I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Eagles in that game. Falcons looked very off-kilter in that Week 1 loss to Pittsburgh. I was expecting quite a lot. A lot of Falcons fans were talking, before the year with their new team, their signings and everything, but just didn't come to fruition in Week 1. I think those guys need a lot more time in jail. I don't think they look impressive at all. It is just Week 1, but, from that game, I think that Philadelphia is definitely going to dominate. Saquon Barkley looked like an absolute weapon for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to go ahead and take this game. I'm going to take it by 2 scores for sure.
2 scores. Damn, I'm mosquito on my face. But Falcons and Eagles, yes, Eagles, my best friends. Falcons did not look good. Our boy Nate, of course, was in his, I don't even want to say seasonal depression. That boy is always a Debbie Downer. Nate eventually is going to be on the show, but not as yet. We got our boy Thrash. This one's going to be easy. Eagles are going to start off the season 2-0. And actually completes our Week 2 picks. Last time, though, we did the college football picks of our favorite teams. We're going to go ahead and do that. We got Texas versus UTSA. Texas actually got moved up from number 4 ranking to number 2 ranking after they defeated that guy's Michigan Wolverines. I'm not even stop myself there. But I feel like my Longhorns will take the UTSA down easily. Maybe not a complete demolish like Texas, or not home like it. It's probably going to be another demolishment. And then up next, we got LSU versus South Carolina. How do you feel, Thrash?
Let's go Tigers.
Tigers.
Garrett Nussmeier.
And you think who's your Michigan Wolverines going against?
Playing against an FCS school, the Arkansas State Red Wolves. That'll be a good game for them to bounce back on. Obviously it's just an FCS school, so we'll see. But hopefully they can take some things from that game and just apply it to the rest of the year.
Wait, is Arkansas like a FBS school?
FCS, yeah, Arkansas State, the Red Wolves.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel like looking up. All right, and then we got my UTEP Miners. I guess Ethan occasionally UTEP Miners. I don't know who you support. UTEP.
MSU.
But we got UTEP. Unfortunately, yes, again, a heartbreaking loss against Southern Utah. I know a lot of people are already kind of like sick of tired of it, already starting to be negative. Me, on the other hand, I did kind of see things I liked. Again, this is a very fast UTEP offense that we never saw under Dimmel, we never saw under Price. So hopefully Scotty Walden knows what he's doing. But to take on one of the more better teams of CUSA and Liberty, I don't see UTEP taking the win on this one. It sucks, but 0-3 start for my Miners. Hopefully I'm just eating up my words. Maybe a 1-2 start, but I'll have to wait and see. Other than that, any last few words?
Can I say something really quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
My agent, I forgot my notes for my agent, so my takes are a little wonky. It's because I don't have my notes for my agent. But can I just say, Kylian Mbappe with 2 goals in this past Real Madrid game. Mwah. That's the football we didn't talk about. We should talk about the next time I'm here.
Okay. You, Ethan? Any last word?
I mean, I guess adding on to that, Liverpool looks good this year in the Premier League. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much to talk about with them. It's a long season, you know what I mean? Hopefully they match up against, Real Madrid in the Champions League final. But, yeah, I mean, I guess on that note, that's all I got to say. And go NMSU. We almost beat Liberty this week, so if you guys lose by more than 20, then you guys are an embarrassment.
You guys lost by 20 against...
No, I said we lost by only 7 points.
Oh, I heard lost by 10. I was like, why
that's not close, one. Well, I don't know,
yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully, I don't know, because, Liberty's more of a tougher team than FCS. Fucking school, but it's UTEP. But other than that, I'm tired. We got a college football tournament that we about to go run up. Thank you guys for watching. My name is XiX from XiX Sports Network. We got Ethan from...
Mistaken for bacon.
And we got our boy, the Metal Messiah, Thrash. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. One take.
Yeah!
41 minutes.